A cupcake with bright frosting appears against a white background. It hops forward and gasps as it discovers 3 muffin pans that exactly look like braille cells. 7 more brightly colored cupcakes appear. At the whistled command of the original cupcake, hop into the various muffin holes to form the braille letters TBK. The muffin tins are replaced by the Blind Kitchen logo, green braille letters TBK on a white background. Fade to black.
Hello, and welcome to The Blind Kitchen. I'm your host, Deborah Erickson, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the food core.
Deborah is wearing apple slice earrings. She is wearing a white chef coat, a forest green apron with the Blind Kitchen logo.
The food core is made of heavy-duty stainless steel, and it's round in the middle and sort of resembles a bicycle wheel with spokes. There's also a handle on either side. The purpose of the food core is to fabricate the food into similar size, shapes, and pieces of food. Now, I have in front of me a red apple. If I was making apple pie, I would peel this apple first, but I'm not. I'm wanting just to cut apple wedges, so I'm going to leave the skin on so I get as much nutrients as I can. Then I'm going to take the food core. The handles are facing up in the air, and I'm going to center it on top of this round apple. The hole in the center of the apple core needs to be centering itself around the stem of the apple. I'm also checking the bottom of the apple so that I know if I push straight down, the chances of me encapsulating that core are going to be better. Now I'm putting the food core on top of the apple, and I'm using my fingers underneath the blade portion to center the apple. But before I start and put pressure on the handles, I want to tuck my fingers safely around the handles so they don't come in contact with the blades as I'm pushing down. The blades aren't super sharp, not like a knife or a razor blade, but they are sharp enough to pierce the skin of the apple and to go all the way through it without using a sawing motion. So I've placed the food core on top of the apple. I'm checking to make sure the stem is centered in the very center hole of the core, and now I'm going to start to push down on it. My fingers are touching the apple, and I'm just rocking it a little bit just to get it started. Then, because these blades are sharp enough to cut my skin, I am going to make sure they are tucked safely around the handles and away from being underneath the blades. Then I'm going to be careful to put equal pressure on both sides of the food core so that the blades go straight down to my working surface and through the apple. If one side starts to get lower than the other side, I need to stop pushing and even them out, because otherwise it'll cause the food core to angle and you're going to end up with core in your wedges. So I'm pushing straight down with firm pressure. I felt it hit the bottom. Now I'm going to feel for the core, and I'm going to peel it straight up so that I know the other wedges can't be attached to it because it's up here at the top to the left. Now, the food core is not perfect. Because I can't see if any core or seeds may have got stuck to the apples, I need to remove the apples from the core. The blade side is down on the table, and I'm just pulling them out. So in case they're a little bit stuck still to each other, the apple core is cutting them out. I'm not tearing them. So looks like I've got them all out now, and I'm going to check my work. So I'm going to grab a wedge, and I'm running my finger down the thinner side of the core. And I can feel a little bit of the core did come away with this one. So I'm going to put this wedge to the bottom right of my tray so that I can go back later with a paring knife and clean that off. This one came out perfect, so I'm going to put it in a different pile. Let me take the next one. That one could use a little cleaning, so it's going to the bottom right. This one's perfect. I'm going to put it on the top left. And I'm going to continue to do this with the other apple slices so that I can make sure I get the ones that need to be cleaned and trim those up. To care for your food core, you know now that it's made of high-quality stainless steel, so it is dishwasher safe, or if you prefer, you can hand wash and dry it. The only thing I really want to call your attention to is that the blades are deceptively sharp. So when you go to store it, if you store it in a drawer or a cabinet or a container, you'll want to make sure that the blade sides are down so that when you do go to look for it the next time you feel the urge for apple pie, you'll touch it with your fingers first and know that the blades are not in play as they're setting safely downward. Thank you for being a member of the Blind Kitchen community. I hope you enjoy your food core and happy cooking.
She smiles towards the camera. Fade to black. The Blind Kitchen logo appears. Fade to black. Neo Creative Productions logo appears. The logo fades to black.